It's time to push. Yay! But what are you supposed to do? Here are some tips on how to push effectively and how to not push if necessary. Hi, I'm Melissa Evans. I've been a childbirth educator starting in 2004 and have added to my birth professional portfolio. I love my job. I know it's really important for families to have quality childbirth classes, so I'm offering them here on YouTube for free so that it will fit into your budget and calendar no matter where you are. Please know that I do not practice medicine. I'm not a medical provider or a lawyer, so use common sense and talk things over with professionals that you trust. But for now, here's your lessons on how to push. First stage labor is spent getting out of your body's way while the uterus does the work of opening up the cervix. Your job is to relax. It's kind of passive. Second stage, things shift. You are active and you actually get to do something and push your baby out. Most moms love this part. Not all, but most. Again, the only promise I can make you is that you will have the most beautiful baby in the universe. Some moms would prefer to not push. They would rather breathe their baby down and out. And if that's working for you, awesome, you do that. Your uterus is so strong, it can give birth without you doing anything about it. It's pretty sneaking amazing. There are stories of women in comas who have given birth. But most moms find that actively pushing actually feels better. So here are 7 tips to do that effectively. Number 1 is use positions that use gravity to your advantage. In our class, 7 positive pushing positions, we go over some ideas to help you with that. Make sure you practice those, give them a try, put them in your repertoire, put them in your body memory. Number 2 is work with the peak of contractions. Remember how we said that we weren't going to do any funny breathing patterns? There's a little bit of a fib, but just a little bit. What we're going to suggest is that when a pushing contraction comes, you take a breath and let it go. And then take another breath and let it go. And then on the 3rd breath, hold it and use that for bearing down. And the only reason we suggest this is so that you're working with the peak of the contraction, the strongest part, so that you aren't wasting your energy, so that you're using it very efficiently and effectively when the contraction is the strongest. Number 3 is listen to your body. Push when it says to and breathe when it says to. There's a concept called purple pushing where mom has to count to 10 and hold her breath the entire time and do it 4 times per contraction while her eyeballs are popping out of her head and getting all bloodshot. And it's not necessary. Baby still needs you to breathe for your baby. So breathe. If your body needs oxygen, then do listen to that. This is the concept of physiological pushing, listening to your body, pushing when it says to, and breathing when it says to. Number 4 is curl in and put your chin to your chest. Now that you have these nice inflated lungs, we're going to use those as like a balloon to push down on the top of the uterus, which pushes down on baby to help baby exit. Number 5 is vocalize. Kind of, sort of, it's a little on the controversial side. So most care providers don't like it when moms vocalize during pushing because it's letting that air out and up instead of down to add to the pressure. And yet my kids were in Taekwondo and they were officially taught to kia during certain maneuvers because that noise added to their strength and power. And sometimes you just need to kia a contraction. But probably not too often because the pressure down is where it needs to go. Number 6 is to relax your jaw. There is a connection between your jaw and your pelvis. And when this is nice and loose and relaxed, so is this. And that makes for babies coming out a little bit better. And number 7 is relax your bum. Your pelvic floor controls the urethra, the vagina, and the rectum, so it's impossible to tighten one and not the others. It's also impossible to loosen one and not the others. A common reaction to the intensity and the pressure is to tighten up and pull back, but I need you to do the exact opposite, to relax and let everything out. It sounds scary and it feels really intense, and you're safe. It's okay. You can do this. I honestly think this is a good chunk of the reason why my first was a cesarean. The nurse was doing her version of perineal massage and it hurt like the dickens. So I was tightening up. And when I told her it hurt, she said, well, it's either this or an episiotomy. And I thought, well, I'd Guess I'll just deal with this because I don't want to be cut. Ironic, huh? Anyways, it is entirely possible to tighten up your pelvic floor and try to push. And it doesn't work very well at all. So after 3 hours in vacuum and distress, I got cut in a different way instead. Avoid that. Relax your bum. Let the baby come out. It's going to be okay. If you are instead instructed to not push, the first thing to do is ask why. If it's because, oh, well, the doctor isn't here yet, I'm not lawful good, and I don't actually consider that to be a good enough reason to not push. If baby wants out, holding baby in can actually be pretty darn dangerous. So tell the nurse it's okay. You can catch our baby. And let your body do what it's going to do, and you do what you need to do. On the other hand, if there's a legitimate reason, like maybe the cervix isn't completely gone or there's something presenting that isn't baby's head, then here are some ways to not add to the force. Again, your uterus is going to do it no matter what. We're just going to not augment that strength. So we're going to do the exact opposite of the things we just mentioned before. The first one is don't hold your breath. Many care providers will say pant or pretend like you're blowing out a candle. But hyperventilating is bad, even now. And if there's a legitimate reason not to push, then your baby probably needs oxygen now more than ever. But the goal is to not hold your breath. And that's totally possible without panting and hyperventilating. Simply don't hold your breath. Sing, scream, swear, don't care, doesn't matter. Just let it out up instead of applying the pressure down. Number 2 is to tilt your head back. Get your chin off your chest. Again, we're going to relieve that pressure. And number 3, along the same lines, is arc your back instead of curling down forward. We want to keep the lungs off of the uterus. I hope you never have to deal with not pushing. It's not an enjoyable experience in and of itself, and usually it means things aren't going very well. So that's just an in case of emergency break glass part of class here. And the really good news is that the information on how to push, if you were to completely forget it, that's okay, your body will remember. But knowing what's going on and how your body's probably going to react and how you can help now can help that not be a shocking surprise. There you go. How to push, how to not push. Do you have any questions for your care providers about how they handle things? Any things to add to your birth plan about how you want it to go? Let me know in the comments. Please like this video, share it with your friends, and make sure you subscribe. I'll be posting new classes every week, and I don't want you to miss out. Until next time, know your options and own your birth.